So I just want to address a couple things. I think I keep on hearing things like the truth is the truth is dying out, or the truth is getting lost. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is an attack on one lineage or one group or one person or something like this, but I feel like the truth, it's pretty hard for the truth to be completely lost. Okay. It's pretty hard for the truth to be completely lost. I think it's the truth is always being told. I just think people don't want to listen to it or they don't like to listen to it. That's really what the problem is. Like I said, you're either in an institution or a corporation or something like this that is righteous or not. Like I said, if it doesn't matter if let's think about like if there's a place where like old records are kept or something like this, right? And this is something that's in a thing like records could be being kept in the underworld. Records could be being kept in I'm pretty sure like the royals have their own records. I'm pretty sure the government have their own records. Um, you know, things like this. Maybe even the other nations or something like this. And everybody's might be a little bit different for whatever reason. Because people can manipulate the truth, but the truth is gonna always I think this may say something like love goes on. The truth does too. And I'm just thinking like even if somebody was to destroy everything that has to do something, it won't change the fact that I am that I am. It won't change the fact that these people are probably going to all die before me. And it's like these people that have been living so-called forever or something. It's like, dude, don't you remember? Don't you know? Don't you see? Like, I don't know. And nothing bothers me more than, um, somebody coming at me with, they're trying to find me out a needle in a haystack, right? They're trying to find me out when they already feel like they already know everything about me. You want to face me and I'm not even fighting. Like I said, there's just a difference to me and I'm not scary the fuck at all. I just, I don't have time to play with you cuz obviously whatever these people been doing hasn't made no effect. Like I said on my core elements. I was just thinking because it makes me cringe sometimes when I hear people say, still saying that. Well, again, some of these people they might be telling the truth. They are African American, or that's what they would rather use. But I was just saying, Africa ain't never been no friend of America. I mean, I don't even know, and I feel like I'm the only one. I feel like somebody feel like I'm supposed to be afraid to say this shit. I'm feeling like somebody make me. Africa ain't never showed up in their real form. Put it like that. If they have showed up among us in recent history, they haven't showed up in their true colors. And if a nation comes towards you and they're not showing their true colors, you better pay a fucking attention. Say, for instance, mm, all of some particular type of group are really Africans. Say the trick is or the gag is that most so-called people that would be famous or something like this, okay, could be from Africa, right? So again, they would be the ones that still have followings and shit right now after this so-called collapse or this whatever has gone on, spiritual or whatever. Um, but again, they've been sent by ancestors or energies or whatever that are behind the scenes that have been waiting for this day. They've been in the corners of society, just like Martin Luther King said. But again, it's not to be your friend; it's to pounce on you. It's to smile in your face. Why do they depict the Africans really dark skinned with white teeth, smiling all the time? on movies and stuff like that. It's always or on whatever. It's just it. Why do they always depict it like that? Smile in your face. Why did because I was thinking about the nothing on the never ending story, and this person went around looking for hopeless people, people that lost hope. And what sometimes do people do? Charitable people sometimes do that. They go around and they look for hopeless people and give them a spark of something, and that can leave if somebody is down and out, that can lead somebody with a good feeling, at least for depending on what you give someone that's down and out, for a couple days, couple years. People could remember a act of kindness for a very long time. So when we see these gotaways in the nation, and then they got away with phones and got away probably with Section 8 and apartments and everything like this. I saw somebody put up a clip. Who are these people? Where did they come from? Where did they? This shit is weird, and it's just like, get ready. I feel like there's more weapons of mass destruction. I mean, it is what it is. It makes me wonder about in the '90s, all so-called epidemic, and how they were saying that it came from so-called gay men. But I was just thinking about the Bible when it says, brother will go against brother. Now, I had to sit there for a couple seconds. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this talking about? Why I got to look deeper? And then when I looked at the term against, it kind of gives me, two ways, like a brother fighting against a brother or something like that. And a lot of times I'm hearing that one brother was weaponized or created by something in a higher place. They knew that they were at war. They knew to attack you. They knew everything about you, even if they were brothers that were separated at birth. The other brother was clueless. The other brother seemed to be taunted. The other brother seemed to be ridiculed. But it almost seems like that's the brother that ends up rising higher than the one that used brute force. Because it's about your intentions. It's the matters of your heart, mind, body, soul, spirit. What you can't, you may be able to hide something from one thing, but you can't hide it from the other. You can hide the fact that you're gay or something from the flesh by restraining from acting on that something, but you can't get it from the mind. And then you can't get, you know what I'm saying? Boy. So I was thinking, like I said, if somebody can't, I mean, okay, if we could look at a majority of some of these nations that may be third world, like I said, if they can't take care of their own stuff, what make you think that when they come to your stuff, that they're going to be able to take care of it? A lot of these people that are dissing me have had a leg up, or they hate the fact that a leg up at one point in time, they may be trying to, they might have gave me a leg up if it was sincere, or a leg up that was fake, some of them. But the one thing's for sure is that their official leg up may be connection to source, the energy that's within me. So it's just kind of weird, you know, going up against yourself. And we're not talking devil energy. It's kind of weird that there's a special group or something, or a different group of people that were created, and that they all are going up against one. They feel like they have the power, they have the knowledge, they have something. But I want you to, I just want to hear, not nobody that's saying, oh, I'm African American, I'm proud that I'm from Africa or whatever, and putting their fist up. I'm talking about, I want to know when a real true, when the last time any of you seen somebody in the mainstream energy that claimed to be Africa, that claimed to be here to rescue so-called black people or speak against anything that have something to black. Tell me, even if you've even heard, I heard recently an African guy saying it's enough of this killing and genocide. I'm not saying it's easy. It's almost like how, you know, so-called American black people do when it comes to the police. When the police kill one of you or one of us, it's like, oh my God, we have to riot. When you motherfuckers kill each other every single day, you hide it. You snitch it. But again, you never realized that that wasn't even you. Sometimes these were these people that were planted in your communities to do such a thing. I don't recall Africa ever standing in solidarity to come to the rescue of one American. At least our so-called Caucasian people go over there and have taken things to care for them. I feel like in America we get, what does she say? It's a hard not life. Instead of treated, we get tricked, living in an orphanage. America is fucking orphans in your own fucking land. Do you understand what this process possibly, because I didn't see it this way until right now. A lot of times I don't figure out things as we speak, and that's why I stopped for a second. Living in an orphanage. We've always been in America. It's always been for a long time now some type of orphanage. America's child is the mother and fatherless child. The funny thing is, smile on your face all the time and want to take your place. A- Africa has always been in the corners of our society, plotting for this great day to fight against God or whatnot. Again, some people will tell you that Africa is the original place. I don't think of the Bible, but what I'm picking up, maybe some of these cultural aspects or something, or the controlling part to get you to kind of like obey or something like this, right? Don't take this many. Now, I'm not saying it's right to take more wives or less wives or not. I'm just saying um, we also see that that's where epidemic was crazy at when it comes to that red bow. We'll just call it that. We're gonna call it the red bow. There's the places where people have multiple wives. But guess what? I was reading something last night and I realized that Africa, the least the least people that was hit. And they were saying that's because it's something in their DNA, blah, 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 blah. Mm-mm. What I was being shown is that, again, these people like this Kazmika or whatever and shit like this, you don't know what you're dealing with. So-called Musk, I think he's trying to say that he has some, roots somewhere in Canada or America or something like this. Maybe somebody's getting a new coat or a new something from a Lord God energy, not God, to go and hide themselves, because this is another thing. They've been able to try to blind the sun and turn people away from the Christ or whatnot in order to get some kind of narrative to go through for people can say, oh, well, we just seen that such and such God, their new coat and went here. And that's the whole Lord God or a lesser God doing this is not God. My God would kill them. Why are you sending them somewhere else so they can go there for 20 years later, 30 years later with all your fucking money and all the stuff that they stole from you and come back and eat your fucking kids alive 40 years later? Makes no sense. There's enough people on this earth where these people know biblically, they'll hold a Bible in their hand. I was wondering again, we just rambling, y'all. We just rambling. I was wondering why some of these so-called pastors or whatever with the some of these unclean spirits, why, I was wondering, they don't even want to touch the word. Is it because they touch the word? I always wonder why can't somebody hold their own Bible and read it? Why is it? Now I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna try to prove me wrong here. I'm pretty sure we've seen some of these Hebrew Israelites, the ones that call out to go to this page and go to that page. Pretty sure there's a reason why they do it. Because I can get a little jumbled up when I'm reading my Bible and I'm trying to do my cards or something at the same time. It might take a little longer or whatever. But I feel like these people have spent more hours than we see doing whatever it is they're trying to do, but they'll never be able to see it like me. That's why there's this thing with my particular intellectual property, which is the most top secret file. It was for America, but America, they I feel like what is that? America runs on Duncan. Duncan what? Listen, we just talking. So I'm just saying it just seems a little bit like, again, I'm just not the one that's gonna sit here and try to drill something in your head. I'm kind of somebody that just, send off those little receptors in your brain to think a little bit. Just get something to think about. Just give you something to think about. And I always wonder why sometimes those guys, they sit there and they have somebody else, their little loyal servant or the little dog or something. They sit there and they have them their little bitch, and they let them, and they sit there and they read that Bible for them like that, like a trained servant. It's almost like subdued. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I can see where I might rub some of these people the wrong way, that a feminine energy or somebody that's allegedly a feminine energy, right? Ain't buying none of them wolf tickets. I always wondered that. It may look amazing that those people can memorize those, but I feel like the thing that pisses these people off is they can't interpret it. Even if they try to go ahead of me, they can't interpret it like that. And if they can interpret it like that, they can't speak on that. Why is that? They still just regurgitate the word. They're just proud that they can, like I think Geno Jenkins has one of those, or Jennings or whatever, has one of those bitch boys that sit at their right hand. I'm wondering if some of these people could be trying to play God. And that's why I know the ones that know me or tried to know me. I know. When I look at them, I could see the back and forth conversation in their fucking brain, or what they wish they could say if they could really even approach me in real life. So when brother went against brother, let's go try to get back on track. What was they doing against each other? Was they fighting against each other? Was they rubbing up against each other? Was they attacking the women that God sent to them for each other? I always wonder too why guys be trying to make comments about feminine hygiene or something like this. And then come to find out, again, some of these women have this problem because what these men are doing behind the in the background, or what they call it, in the closet. Mm. And the thing is, how you going in the back door? It gotta be messy, and you got something to you, and you got and these people will have something to say about the natural essence of a woman. That's overkill, dude. It just shows. You know what I'm saying? It's just overkill to me. It shows who the real men. It separate the men from the beast or the men from the something, y'all. Shit. 'Cause I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when my tours, we be like, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't know. To me, it's like, oh, okay. I be trying to put up a little fight, like, oh, wait a minute, I ain't even getting, and you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I be thinking about stuff like that. I mean, we just looking at shit that maybe motherfucker want to watch out for. I'm just saying. But I don't think that Africa has ever stood in the front lines for America. Not publicly. I don't know. I can't tell you what everybody's doing all the time across the whole world, you know, behind the scenes. It's almost like always having to be that one looking out for other people that you know don't fuck with you like that. Where that makes sense at? It's a facade. And again, the same people that said they wouldn't do it or did all this studying, they have let them upon or within our gates again. Because I can tell you one thing, I'm pretty sure there could be some militias that were formed, I feel like, or some haven points or something that were formed by some of these men that were doing this indigenous stuff and doing the Bible stuff and stuff like this at the same time. Some alliances or something being formed to a certain extent. Somebody said, oh, it's okay. I got my own, so I'm not even tripping, blah, blah, blah. Because when a real type of invasion or something happens, none of that shit is going to matter. Well, again, things can go wrong if people prepare for everything. One little move can go wrong where you did all that preparing and all this and that and that. And one little thing could go wrong and all that shit could be over. That's why I'm thinking, whatever this is that we're going towards or I'm going to, there's nothing that you cannot prepare for whatever it is. That's what God was saying about these silly people that run around doing these things or whatever, and they prepare, and God is just laughing. They don't like to show you the fear of God on their face or because of their sins or whatever they sneaky shit that they're doing behind the scenes. The first thing they do is try to find out who's the fairest of them all, and then drain them, abuse them, retrain them, something like this. And I feel like these people are getting angry because that's not happening with me. But it's not supposed to. If anything, it's time for it's their turn to take the knee. It's their time to, well, something was gonna rhyme, but that wouldn't have sound right. That wouldn't have sound right. To be up on that cross. It's not even fear tactics or nothing. It's total disrespect or something that they're doing. And it's time for somebody to be reminded as to who's boss. And I'm not even saying me in particular. I feel like it's something that's running through me. And a lot of this is aggression against these women because these men don't know they've been penetrated in some type of way or something like this, right? Instead of just dealing with that and going on about their way, they have to try to make it the reason why. Oh, it's because the wife didn't do this or or whatever. Now, again, most people don't say this out loud. Most men don't say this out loud. Most women are very vocal about the reason why they're a lesbian or why they don't want to deal with men. Most women are vocal about it. People that look like a woman outwardly, they're vocal about it. 9 times out of 10, they're pretty much vocal about it. And it's like you know that Bible that well. Especially, Israelites like to talk about Deuteronomy 28. But then when we find out that a lot of these guys are the Deuteronomy 28ers. That's why they focus on it so much. They get you to interpret or see it some kind of way. But they are those ones that you was warned about. Letting into thine gates. In some cases, we just rambling, we just talking. I'm really actually sleepy, but I wanted to get that part out about the fact that I can't stand when people say that, because most of the time it's America with her last free will and spirit and her last piece of energy after being mocked and humiliated and ridiculed and crawled all over and climbed all over and dug all into, with no protection, no what she could see on her, nothing that she could see that's tangible, that's protection, or no one that shows up as the help meet for her. But everybody got their hand in her pocket and then want to act like a bitch can't get a dollar out of me. These motherfuckers have been able to allow their friends to come in and harvest energy from the wife or from America. And then we think that they're going to sit there and put somebody in an enclosure and close the door. It's not going to happen. It's going to be your children. And then they like to say, well, this is what the royal family. No, motherfucker, the royal family maybe wasn't even in touch with what the fuck you people been doing to build this militia or whatever unit built underground. It's been your motherfucking ass. Just be honest. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, people don't like to hear the truth. It's been y'all ass the whole time. Envious, maybe feeling in peril in some of these lands where stuff, it seemed harder or things don't grow. Have you ever thought about why some people end up in those particular situations or those places? Why stuff don't grow around? It could be spell work, or it could be somebody manipulating the situation to get people to move from place to place or move on and on and on. But for you to want to push somebody like that to move on and on and on, like the scriptures I was just reading right now, I was reading, I'm like, okay, oh, this sounds cool, but what is this right here? Flee from, it's like somebody's like, run. But it's like, I remove your power and run. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to just stand here and I'm going to see if you really was able, because a lot of people could get somebody to flee in, like in fear or something like this. It's like, oh, really? Well, I guess I could stand a little bit more or something, because I mean, I really didn't even, you know, whatever the fuck you just tried to do to affect me or afflict me or something, it I don't know what the fuck wrong with me or what you thought was supposed to be wrong with me after you sent that. But, there's still no fucking fear. There still ain't no bitch in me. It still ain't no running me. It should be a penalty or something for this shit. Because motherfuckers ain't got time for this shit for years and years straight. You failed. You thought you was about to send somebody over there to do this and that to somebody. Whoever this is, there's somebody trying to send somebody on. And you thought that they was going to be in distraught or some shit like this. I feel like some of these niggas get in these situations, or they put themselves in these situations too. And then be distraught after the fact. That's why I refrain from those things. That's why it should be just respect, period. Somebody could make it all day. Oh, we cover our women because we don't want da da da. Yeah, but then people cover themselves or they stick to themselves, and these are the same groups that will have somebody come in and try to inflict something on you any fucking way because they wanted to be under their fucking terms. They wanted to be you want to cover up because of fear or the claims that they want you to think as to why you got to cover up. So it's basically you could do all that shit right, and these motherfuckers that we talking about ain't gonna give a damn. They're gonna be disrespectful anyways. And even more because I feel like some of these elders that they try to get out of here with this vid, they were like points of shelter or something like this. And somebody took that, grandma's house when you was growing up was a point allegedly of shelter. But I feel like again, there was something more sinister with like some of these houses because grandma also had that house where everybody was coming in and out at any times or something. And then that's the difference. Everybody ain't her. Everybody ain't that conduit. That no matter what, some kind of energy radiates off of that person. Some people show it by being an open pantry for everybody and serving up this and cooking up that or something. And some of us we are more mind based. We're natural born leaders and kings. And somebody might say, well, you don't cook them big old pans of macaroni, bitch. You better make sure you test what's in that macaroni one time in your life. And second of all, I feel like I do what they do, but with words. You know what I'm saying? With knowledge, with information, observation. It's like who else can scroll back the heavens, or who else can, without moving from their living room for 4 years, without having no visitors really for 4 years. Who else? Like I said, you got motherfuckers sitting right now probably watching what I'm doing. You got motherfuckers right now trying to figure out what's their next step or what's my next step. So what's their next step? Da, 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 da. The whole center of your motherfucking existence, your whole center of whatever the fuck you about to do next. But I just heard somebody sent out a hex, and I think it's gonna boomerang back. Somebody is really trying somebody. Somebody use your love to try to climb up above somebody in ranking or something like this. And they playing in motherfuckers' face is what they doing right now. That thin line between love and hate. Like I said, only people that wanted to believe that lie about you believe a lie about you without seeing proof or something or proof that it happened. And sometimes that could be altered. But knowing you and knowing what you own right now and what you doing and what you ain't doing. It's some motherfuckers right now that can tell you no for sure. Please, if somebody did, if something happened over there, motherfucker, it came in or it was an inside job or something because that motherfucker don't fuck with nobody really. You gotta know. You gotta know. But I'm just telling you because everybody's like, oh, they want to say that Jesus is white or Jesus is African or something like. I mean, but just Jesus was African. But I'm just thinking like, still, that's what I'm saying. All this time, all that peril or something like that. Like Americans is just we about to just now start feeling the brunt of some shit here. Okay? Or maybe I'm the last one, the last so-called American that's gonna feel the brunt of whatever this is. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. So somebody could want somebody to fear somebody or for me to fear them, but I'm wondering, do they fear me because they watch me from 9 to 5, seeing what I'm doing and how to counteract to that. And I'm not concerned about what they're doing unless something, is right in front of my fucking face, to be honest with you. But that epidemic and stuff like this, like I said, in the 90s or something, it's just a cycle. If you just catch on to it a little bit, that's what I'm trying to do, is to get tuned back in to these particular so-called cycles here. That a lot of this has to be ended, or excuse me, in order to end some of these so-called, I say it's so-called generational curses. Because again, some of these curses weren't what your ancestors did to get in trouble and God punished them. Some of these things have been afflicted on them by other groups and other means throughout this test of time. It's just the truth. And then you let it resonate with you. Oh, there's a curse, there's a curse, there's a curse. And then there you go, cursed. I sat there and I thought last night, I said, like, if somebody sent an attack on their person or their woman or something like this, and I sit here and I thought, I said, oh, there's no honor amongst thieves. So somebody done stole somebody's stuff or something. Somebody done stole your standing or stole your, somebody that was sent in to be a guide or a lover or a fake false person or actually something. Somebody done stole your. So all is not lost. Somebody just stole the shit. Somebody stole your identity. Somebody's like a walking refrigerator or something. They have something stored. They stole. So it's almost like, okay, guts. It's almost like only way to get somebody is to get something from somebody is to gut them. Like you'll find it inside or something like this. I don't know what the hell that's talking about. And you got to start. You got to start the chest. I'm seeing like somebody gutting a fish. Oh, so fisher of men. Okay, so this what somebody could be doing to somebody right now. Okay, somebody could be like trying to. Cause I said something about a crown or snatching off a crown or something yesterday. Somebody's trying to take off somebody's crown. So that's what somebody's doing. They're unraveling somebody some kind of way here, like taking the crown, knocking them down. Don't make a sound. Flop around on the ground. Okay, and then they, like how my family were fishers. They like to fish or whatever, like with real, like with fish and eat them. Um, and they would go out there and they would have the fish, and then they would, you know, take the scales off. Those scales be flying out. Oh, it's so stinky. And with the smell of that wet newspaper, I just remember that shit. I just be like, ugh. And then I see my auntie out there just ripping them guts. You could really get to know a man or anybody by watching them how they fillet a fish. Scales be shiny and flopping. They be spread. Because they do it outside. They used to do it outside. And that nasty old and I picked up a newspaper today, but it was all thin. I'm like, what the fuck kind of newspaper is this? I like a heavy new. I might have got to wait until Sunday to get my newspaper or something, y'all, because this little thing, it was like the thinnest little newspaper. And I said, I'm not about to pay $3 for this damn newspaper, so I might have to wait until Sunday or something to get me a newspaper. But also, this is I feel like how certain people get caught up. That's that old school something. That motherfucking shit might be the more it's cold up around this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like these are the orderly things that some of these groups that are older groups. this is how they stay. You had to go above or something like this. You got to go to a different mindset of looking at this shit here. And I feel like some of those energies are left alone to do so. Um, they're left alone to do so. Reminisce on the love we had. Mm. So what else are we gonna ramble about? Yeah, but Africa, again, I feel like it's nothing against them. It's nothing about what do you expect? What do you expect? But I just figured, how is that possible? Because again, in Africa, I'm not saying I've been there. I'm not saying in all the places, but there, just like in some of these underground energies around here, there's a whole bunch of dark skinned people together and they still be on some bullshit sometimes, I feel. You can't blame it on the colonizers then. It had to be some, and I'm saying this to say that there has to be a deeper root cause. I'm not trying to dog nobody. I'm trying to look at it and assess it from a situation where I'm just like tearing down these onion things or whatever to get back to whatever. Because if we want to say, well, black people ain't never been able to own nothing, that's why we can't. Well, goddamn, it seems like most so-called leaders in Africa look like the people that's already there, and still there is a struggle for some reason in some areas where it's still impoverished, and the leaders look like the people at least that they are amongst. So what else is it? Why else is it? It said in that scripture, so you'll go city to city, and if you're ridiculed or whatever, then you'll go city to city. But I feel like I was also, when I was reading that scripture, I was also picking up on the fact of some type of spell work or manipulation kind of ritual or something that's done to women, right? They a guy promised them something like this, they gonna be good. They get into your, now again, some of us have physical situations like this, and it just so happens now you may be having just spiritual. There's no physical contact. Okay. But it seemed like it's the same thing. It's just new age. Okay. Um, what the hell was we just talking about? I lost my train of thought. Um, oh, and so this could also be meaning, because cities or towns or whatever, these could be temple. This could be a building or a, like, you imagine something like in a snow globe or something like this. Um, I feel like these is the old. Okay. So there's a problem here, though. There's a problem where somebody wants somebody out of somewhere here, though, because of the center point of it all. So somebody might have, this could be some type of something that's going on where, people want to say somebody is a hoe or something, but like a lot of people are putting you in these, or making you think that you're in, or putting you in these online situations or these dating set. No, you said no, you don't want no visitors, but somebody is still sending people somebody's way, disres- disrespectfully, so they can try to make you look ran through energetically or otherwise. That's what I think I was gonna say next. And again, to say that they know not what they do, I'm seeing somebody laughing right here with their tongue sticking out, like a really goofy, like jokery laugh, like with their tongue, like biting their tongue and laughing, like a very over the top. live. Hmm. Anyways, y'all, I know when my eyes keep closing like that, that I'm about to start going back to sleep or that I'm having a sleep attack. So I think I'm going to take just a break real quick and come back to the video. But I think I just want to talk more about the fact that when has somebody had America, the real America's back? How many people booked a flight and came to America, showed up as so-called African, and took the lead in some type of something? Because again, just because these people seem like they're in a third world country, don't mean that they don't know, you know, certain things. It don't mean that they're not educated. It don't mean that they're not fucking smart as hell. It doesn't mean that they're not talented. It's just, somebody might be relentless here or ruthless when it comes to certain aspects. And just because some people are used to something don't mean that they deserve it. I'm just saying. I pull that card when people try to say, well, we ain't never, we trying to do this or whatever like this. But how are you even going about that? By defiling the mothers or the daughters? Like, um, I don't know. Something like that about that doesn't seem right. It don't sit right. These is people that know right from wrong in their hearts, but they still choose to do certain things. And that's what I'm just saying. And they keep trying to blame it on those same things. Like the crime riddled communities, but what about the niggas that's filling on other niggas' booties? We had to go back to the core now. We had to go see because they don't these men that's calling themselves haughty and punching on their chest. That's the part that they don't want. That's the sensitive matter. That's the ruin. That's the ruin. So could you imagine somebody, a powerful man, trying to do everything that they can to hide some shit like that? You're not even being yourself, and you mad at me because I'm myself, and I don't mind to speak about myself or other people that do something to this self, to afflict this self, or say something, have something to say, or whatever, or if I just want to say it. Oh well, we got free will to speak. I'm not gonna live in fear in my country, thinking that somebody's listening to every little thing that I say, and if I say something that they don't agree with or they don't like, that they can attack me. It's not going to be happening. I will wake up today. If God was asking me, I will wake up today in order to save whatever we salvage, whatever we have created in America, and that this was supposed to be our turn as a peaceful nation moving forward with some. I will send every fucking Mexican back to Mexico. I will send every African back to motherfucking Africa, bitch. I will do it. If God asks me, cause I can't see. What am I gonna do? Something gotta go. It's clutter. That's just what the fuck it. We wouldn't have a program called ICE if this was not, or we wouldn't have. Again, remember now these is the same people that came here, and as soon as they got these positions, they put your ass on a blacklist, or they put you on something when they thought they had the power in in these particular situations here. So I don't have no problem, no problemo. You understand what I'm saying? Until something is figured out, or the so-called, I won't even call it the safety. It's almost like okay, we got some of these videos sometimes that I watch, and they say the most outrageous things that kings or queens ordered. And it might be like a hot towel to wipe their ass before they go to bed or something like this. And some of them they ordered to have a whole village wiped out or something. And it's just like, again, in king energy, I'm able to decipher that if what they're saying is true about these people coming in and now they're doing this, this, and that, and we may not be safe here or something like this, if they're causing a ruckus, we're not talking about people, that are minding their own business, you know, and things like this, or just doing their work, or they want to fit in, or they want to be obedient, or they say, oh God, I like the word. I don't care. I just want to be here. I'm a law abiding citizen, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about motherfuckers that think they come in here for some underground shit or some background shit or whatever to try to take something over. And you don't have your right minds about yourself. Most of the time, these people that have been in these situations, they have a lot of wounds and scars. They're hypocrites. A lot of times these are people that stole identities from people at some point in time. And that's why they was exiled and had to go place to place as a vagabond. They're leaving that part out. They're just saying, oh, God thought that his daughter was all this, or this person thought that this was all that. And then they just did this to us because whatever. But what were you doing? Some of these people is caught red-handed doing some weird shit. How you gonna tear down a group of, at least they were so gross they did this and that, and then you're seeing another group of people that's trying to rise to that same level that are doing even more wicked things, or they have already done them in front of you. It don't make no sense to me. What man you gonna be letting, if everybody know that at one point in time we was all looking at this bitch, you was even in love with this bitch or something like this. You even was fucking with this bitch some kind of way. And what we haven't seen this person, matter of fact, we seen this person get better. We seen that this person can actually be an asset, possibly, if we were working with this person for real. And I feel like somebody's getting agitated by this because somebody's looking at somebody in a different light or something, and they cannot prove these things. Not the things that they inflicted, the things that somebody else inflicted on you don't got shit to do with you. They may affect you in some kind, but I'm not going to carry that energy the same that I carry when I'm making my own choices. And you know, there might be a 500 manipulators and liars and one person that know the truth. Hmm. And in some instances, you got 5,000 people that know the truth, but they'll sit there and let one person convince the other people that that's not so. They will let that person go on with a lie, and that's how generational curses. My fault. Hold on, my alarm thing.